Just got back from the hernia checkup and everything is 2 thumbs up, good to go. So that's great news. And between my heart now being in what normal ejection fraction they call it, a 55% or so, and 55 to 60 is what they consider normal. So with the heart being where it needs to be, my hernia being as healed as it's going to be, I am going to go look at stem cells in a couple weeks. I actually have an appointment to go to Florida for that. More to come on that. But with all these things going right for the health, I have no excuse to be in anything but the best shape I can right now. I'm not able to go out to bars. I'm not able to go out to restaurants. I'm eating at home like this. And now I can start exercising tomorrow. So the focus now is to get in the best shape that I can. In some ways, 2020 has been easy to stay in shape because I haven't been drinking because of the heart problems. I can't really go out to the bars anyway, and I don't go out and eat near as much. So those are all positives. I cook more meals at home, cooking healthier. The downside though is that every time I get exercising again and on track, I end up having another surgery and going backwards again. This year I've had 4 heart surgeries and 1 hernia repair. It's now been about 5 months since the last heart surgery, and once I got through that and started exercising, then I had the hernia. Now it's been 8 weeks since the hernia surgery, so with everything healed, I've got no more excuses besides to be in the greatest shape I can. So I want to start today and document where I am today so I know and can look back and be proud of what I've gained in the upcoming months. You can see now that I not only have the 1 big scar and the 2 little ones from the open heart surgery years ago, but now I have 3 little hernia repair surgery scars in addition to that. I won't scar your eyes by showing you the giant hernia surgery with 13 staples I had when I was 21, but that's there as well. So this is the relaxed front view, this is the relaxed side view, and this is the relaxed rear view. Let's see what I weigh. 219.2. I was down in the 210 range before hernia surgery, so I gained at least another 9 pounds back over the last couple months, but that just means I've got work to do. Using my calipers to measure my body fat again. Up to 219.2 and 19.5% body fat, which is up from the 207 or whatever I was at in 17. You can see this spike is the 8 weeks of hernia recovery. I took all my measurements again and compared them. No surprise that things like the waist went up and things like the arms went down. That's sort of expected, but this is my new baseline where I'm starting today. Since I'm focusing on starting fitness again, couldn't help but dig up an old picture and looking at what I used to be at for in shape. I'm proud of what I looked like then, but I really would be happier if I was doing better. I know I'll never look like that again. I have way more tattoos now. Step 1 is always get enough sleep. It is 3:15 and I went to bed at 10, which only makes 5 1/4 hours of sleep, which is not enough. I know that. It's just unfortunate sometimes the brain wakes up or the dog wakes up and I can't go back to sleep. I've tried, I give it a few minutes, and if I can't go back to sleep, I just accept I might as well get up and be productive, get things done, and I can always take a nap later if I need to. The next thing I do is weigh myself before I've had any food, water, or anything. And because I barely ate yesterday, I'm down to 216.2 already in 1 day. I weigh myself with nothing in my system, the same every morning, so that I know I'm consistent. And that way there's not a bias of hydration or anything like that, or how much I ate for breakfast or anything. The next thing to do is hydrate. You're laying in bed for 5 hours, 8 hours, whatever, with no water coming in, and you need water. You need water to do everything. All your life functions, including losing weight, require water. Especially, it's getting cooler this time of year. Your system's drier because the weather's drier. It's so important to drink a lot of water throughout the day. First exercise of the day, I'm going to record it with my Polar watch. I'm going to take Furball for a walk. Not only does that accomplish starting the day with something that gets me moving, a little bit of exercise, but not too much where I'm going to strain myself or hurt myself because the joints are stiff. And it also helps me relax because I get to take my dog for a walk. Now that he's walked, got my mind cleared, got the blood pumping, and now time to make my shake. I don't need too much caffeine, especially with this heart, so I'll make one weak cup and one strong cup to dilute it a little bit. Since I'm starting back on keto, I have to be very conscious of the carbs, and this has 8 grams of carbs, which is quite a bit and adds up if you eat too much of it. They say to keep under 50 grams of carbs a day. I try to keep closer to 30. And if I can do that and enjoy a little peanut butter, then great. And a little for Baron, because I can see, get it on his nose, because it's fun to watch him don't lick his tongue nose. There's the second cup. Gotta have protein in it. I like chocolate, it goes great with the coffee and peanut butter taste. Normally I'd add a little cream as well, but I'm out of that right now, so I'll have to wait till I get another grocery order. Meal one is ready. There's no need to dirty another glass. Now I'll have this while I start checking stuff like email and some of my other busy work. Damn it, using the grinder burned a hole in my shirt. That sucks, I like this shirt too. Can't go to the dentist very easily, which makes it all the more important to take good care of your teeth, which means brushing and rinsing morning and night. Haven't even had breakfast, but already planning ahead by putting a pork loin in the crock pot so it'll be slow cooked, nice and tender. A little water in there to keep it moist and from drying out. And today I tried some LAWRY'S, some garlic salt, and then some chili powder to give it a little bit of zing. Anybody who says they can't cook is probably just lazy, to be honest. It's just experimentation. The concept is simple. You take food that's cold and you make it warm. The rest is just details. I don't like to do this, but I'm dragging today from waking up way too early. Have to resort to the Black Rifle 5-figure death punch coffee. Coffee, black and bitter like my soul, if I had a soul. Got eggs and bacon going for breakfast, not because it's a certain time, but because I'm hungry. And that's the nice thing about working from home, I guess, with COVID right now is you can kind of eat when you actually feel like it and not on a schedule. I've got cheese, salsa, and sour cream to keep it from being too dull. First time in 2 months I can kickbox again, which is great. I do have to go a little easy on the kicking, he said, probably at first, just because it's a lot of tension on the groin, but still a big first step. So just gonna do a little bit of this over lunch break. Start working my way back in and get the feel for it. Should really be better about stretching than I've been in the past. Now that I'm hungry for lunch, cut up the pork loin, put that in with some beans, and maybe I'll put a little ranch dressing on the beans. Healthy snacks like pecans, meat and cheese. I have a few BCAA drinks throughout the day. Something to give a little bit more flavor and variety than just the water. And at the end of the workday, you put your work down, put the computer down, and do something like sand a gas tank on a bike. Really don't have to do that, whatever your interest is. Point is to find something that you enjoy. That's the whole point of it. Clear your mind. Time to assess the grocery situation and see what I've got for food in the place. Pretty minimalistic, as you can tell. Dog food and charcoal on the bottom. There's the basics, cooking oils, some pecans, peanut butter, tuna, BCAAs, and protein. Down here's frozen vegetables, some blueberries for a once in a while snack, poultry on this side, seafood here, and then red meat and some bacon in the back. Eggs and bacon on top for breakfast, some frozen meat and vegetables for lunches. Milk's not even mine, that's for her. Same as the cream cheese. The 3 Red Bulls, I quit drinking that a year ago and my heart started going haywire, so those have been sitting there since then. Gotta have a lot of butter. Things like wasabi, shrimp cocktail, sour cream and salsa for the omelets, mayo and ranch. Everything's looking pretty empty, which is fine, but it is time to recharge. This is one of the keys to being healthy too, is what you keep in the house. I don't do good with moderation or self-control with junk food. I'm of the thought process that you eliminate temptation by giving into it. So if I have something bad here, like a cake or a pie or something, I'll just eat all of it to get rid of it so that I can't eat it anymore. It's not a great way to think, obviously, but I know what my limitations are, so I accommodate it by just not keeping junk food in the house. If you don't have it here, you can't eat it. So I make sure that I've got plenty of meat, vegetables, some fruit, and as long as I've got protein and my BCAAs, that's all I really need. And if I can stick to that, I know I can get results. Last night I got a good night's sleep and made up for the short night the night before. I've got my shake, I already walked Baron, so I've got those going already. Let's think about the main points we've gone over for healthy living in the last day. 1, get a lot of sleep. Get a good night's sleep, good solid rest, turn your brain off, whatever you gotta do to do that. 2, exercise. You have to do something active every day. Keep your body moving. If it sits still like any machine, it's gonna break. Exercise gives us things like strength, like flexibility, like cardiovascular capacity. All those things are extremely important in how we feel every day. Eat healthy. You don't have to go full keto like I'm doing, but make sure you eat enough of the good stuff and minimize the bad stuff. Even if you have carbs, but you can cut out the sugar and as much of the wheat as you can. Things like potatoes and vegetables and fruits are healthy benefits. So you gotta find the balance that works for you that you can stick to. Clear your mind from stress. That's what keeps you from sleeping well. It's horrible for your health, your heart, and everything else. And so find ways to do that. For me, it can be walking the dog, it can be working on the bike, it can be playing guitar, watching a movie, whatever it might be. But find something to make sure to keep your mind clear as you can. And I'm gonna lump a few others into the 5th one, which is good habits. Good habits are things like brushing your teeth, rinsing, washing your hands, which is especially important right now with the pandemic going on. Staying hydrated is extremely important. Your body is mostly water, so you need a lot of it to keep healthy. And these are my 5 tips to healthy living and what I try to do in my life. And I know that if I follow these habits, I will see results. And those results aren't just the cosmetic, with things like weight loss or muscle gain, which are important to most of us anyway, but it's in how we feel as well. If you want to improve your life, it's up to you, but you have to really want it. I didn't become the fastest person to ride a motorcycle across America because I thought it'd be kind of cool. No, I did it because I really wanted it more than anything in life. And you can do it too. Success is a function of desire.